What if the actor playing a video game character becomes the character? And what if he is being hunted across the realities he didn't even know he helped create? Shawn Ashmore, known to most of us as Jack Joyce from Quantum Break, or Lamplighter from The Boys Amazon series, or Iceman from X-Men, is back. But this time he's playing himself, or rather, several versions of himself, fractured across a kaleidoscope of realities and manipulated by an interdimensional force. This is Timebreaker, the third and final chapter of Alan Wake 2's Night Springs DLC, and it might be the most important piece of storytelling Remedy Entertainment has ever released. Because Timebreaker doesn't just play with metafiction, it turns a narrative device into gameplay and subtly lays the foundation of something far more ambitious, the Remedy Connected Universe. If you've seen our previous video on the Lake House DLC, we explored how Alan Wake rewrites reality from within a story. You'll now learn how Timebreaker takes that idea and runs with it.
No matter how many parallel realities I need to brave, how many lives, how many versions of me it takes, I will stop it. And I will come back for you, my love.
And cut. Everyone, take 5.
In Timebreaker, we begin in what seems like a grounded, behind-the-scenes setup. Shawn Ashmore, the actor, is working on a video game with game director Sam Lake. It's a noir story, and he's voicing the lead. It all feels like a fun in-joke for fans of Remedy's previous games, Control, Alan Wake, and Quantum Break, of which Ashmore was a part of. But then, he finds the body of his doppelganger.
What the fuck is this? I had to admire how real the body and the props looked.
He finally got you.
Are you cast in this game, too?
Listen to me. There are things you need to know. You are in great danger. You must do exactly what I tell you.
As Ashmore's character moves between timelines and identities, from everyman to interdimensional agent, the boundaries between fiction and reality start to erode. Timebreaker becomes a literal multiverse of narrative layers. The player is watching Ashmore playing a character who knows he's being watched.
Fuck this shit! I thought it was just the plot of the video game, but it was all real.
The hostile entities known as Timebreakers are alternate versions of the actor, murdered across the multiverse by Warlin Door, the self-proclaimed master of many worlds. Resurrected and corrupted, they now serve Door as multiversal assassins, hunting the last surviving version of the actor. Their existence is a result of Door's manipulation of reality to assert control over the fractured Remedy Connected Universe. The brilliance of Timebreaker isn't just in the story, but in how it uses gameplay to tell it. Every shift in style, tone, and medium reflects a reality fracture. The gameplay becomes a mirror of multiversal instability. We get the Ocean View Hotel. It's a version of a place of power first seen in Control. The hotel is less of a Lynchian maze, with doors leading to lobbies caught in 4 specific time zones.
No one at Poison Pill had mentioned they'd made a comic book of their game. But then, maybe Poison Pill didn't even exist in this reality.
The comic book universe, it seems to be the home universe of the Ripple Effect Corporation, which we'll get into later. This cutscene is probably the most cost-effective way for an exposition dump. It's stylized, vibrant, and woefully self-aware.
Welcome to the headquarters of the Ripple Effect Corporation.
We were making a video game of the multiverse, but now it's suddenly real?
Real and not real exist side by side in the multiverse. Echoes flow through it like currents in a cosmic ocean, the Sea of Night.
The arcade universe, where reality simplifies into pixelated chaos, a world reduced to simple shoot mechanics. This reality makes players feel that the high-definition game world is losing resolution, going back in time, and the edges of reality are falling apart. And then players get thrown way back in time to the first type of digital game, text-based gaming. The written word, a universe where the pen is mightier than the sword. Alan Wake's true domain, a place where his words literally shape the world. More than a gimmick, each level is a portal into a different layer of gaming history, metafiction, and self-reflexivity. Through this constant morphing, Timebreaker expresses the core of its narrative, that reality is an unstable fiction. After escaping the chaos of the arcade universe, the actor finds himself in what he describes as the edge of the multiverse, a stark, desolate expanse, void of life.
Everything sucked dry of color and energy.
This place is no longer bound by the rules of any one reality. Instead, it exists in a kind of narrative event horizon. Here, the actor is confronted with the consequences of his fractured identity. The fight becomes existential. He is battling the versions of himself he could have become in alternate narratives. It symbolizes what happens when too many narratives converge without coherence, when characters lose control over their own arcs, and when authorship itself becomes fragmented. And perhaps, most significantly, it marks the furthest point we've ever traveled within the Remedy connected universe, into a kind of a narrative deep space. But beneath the gameplay and metafictional flair lies something even more important. Timebreaker is the clearest blueprint we've ever received for the Remedy connected universe. Let's break down what we now know. The Ripple Effect Corporation, or REC, this new organization is a multiversal counterpart to the Federal Bureau of Control. Where the FBC contains supernatural phenomena, the REC appears to monitor disruptions in narrative continuity across realities. The REC seems to be a combination of the FBC from Control and Monarch Solutions from Quantum Break, suggesting a broader organizational structure monitoring reality shifts. This has huge implications. It suggests that there are many organizations in many realities, each trying to contain the growing instability that is Alan Wake's influence. The multiverse is not only fractured, it's also being audited. Timebreaker presents multiple versions of familiar figures. All of this suggests a foundational truth to the RCU. Characters don't have a single form. They are echoes shifting across realities, shaped by different writers and readers. There's Alan Wake the writer, Thomas Zane the poet, Mr. Scratch, Alan's dark doppelganger, Sam Lake, the game director, Sam Lake, the actor, Alex Casey, the character, Shawn Ashmore as himself, the actor, and Sheriff Tim Breaker.
Thing is, when time broke and changed Paul, it changed me too.
Released in 2016, Quantum Break was developed by Remedy Entertainment for Microsoft. While Remedy doesn't officially own the rights to Quantum Break, Timebreaker feels like a spiritual sequel in everything but name. The title alone, Timebreaker, is a not-so-subtle nod to Jack Joyce's time-breaking abilities, also played by Shawn Ashmore. And Ashmore playing himself in Timebreaker acts as the ultimate connective tissue, linking two roles, two timelines, and two realities. Even if Quantum Break isn't technically part of the RCU, Remedy clearly wants fans to think it belongs. Much like how in Alan Wake 2, Alex Casey mirrors Max Payne, another lost Remedy IP, Ashmore's roles blur the line between character and creator, fiction and performer. Throughout Timebreaker, the character Wallendor is portrayed as the master of many worlds, manipulating events and hunting down alternate versions of the actor. However, in the final text-based universe, the actor discovers that Dor isn't actually the master of many worlds. It is instead Alan Wake. This revelation recontextualizes the entire narrative, suggesting that Alan Wake, in his attempts to escape the dark place, has become a godlike figure, orchestrating events across multiple realities. Wallendor then is not a master, but a usurper. Dor doesn't just want power, he wants authorship, aiming to override the fragmented Remedy universe with a narrative he alone controls.
The next time we meet, the circumstances will be very different. And you would do well to return the favor by playing your part. Or stay out of my way, Mr. Wake.
Timebreaker doesn't just invite us to think, it asks us to rethink. Who's playing the role? who's telling the story. Do check out our deep dive into how Remedy's latest games actually tell a connected story about the struggle between the studio and the companies that own their work. If you've enjoyed this video, it truly helps if you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to support us here at Cutscene Collective, where we explore the stories behind your favorite games. Let us know your thoughts below, and until the next one, be good to each other.